Hi guys, it's Gillian and welcome back to my channel. Here we talk about everything spirituality, sexuality, healing, energy, and everything in between. My name is Gillian and I am an intuitive life coach and spiritual healer. So, today we are going to talk about spirit guides. We are going to talk about the 8 ways that your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. So, let me remind you what a beautiful spirit guide is. So some people believe that it is an external entity or energy that is here to help and support us through our soul's journey. And those can come in the shape of angels, ascended masters, animals, teachers, ancestors, passed on loved ones. They come in all shapes and forms. We can have galactic guides if we are very connected to other planets and other star systems. So they definitely come in at different times, but we also have guides that are here throughout our whole journey and our soul's evolution. So I would love to know if you have ever experienced a spirit guide and how did you receive that information, because they are here and with us all the time. There is another train of thought that the spirit guides are essentially archetypes of ourself. So everything comes from within, nothing comes from without, and that everything that we see, imagine, feel within our spirit guides is all ultimately just coming from us, but it's created in these archetypes. So whatever your train of thought, they are magical, they are amazing, they're here to support us, they're here with messages, they are here when we need them at times of need and transition, but we just need to learn how they're communicating with us, because they're communicating with us at all times. So here are 8 ways that your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. Now let me know if any of those resonate, because I'm sure they will, and hopefully after watching this you'll start to notice some more synchronicities, and they're going to show you how they really do communicate with you, because we all have unique ways of communicating with our guides. So the more that you can listen and pay attention, the more that you're going to create your own individual relationship with your own personal guides. Okay, so number 1, seeing feathers. Look, if you live in an aviary, then look, you're going to see feathers all the time. But for most of us, this will happen occasionally. And we might go and have a walk in the park and just start to notice like multiple feathers in one day or multiple feathers in 1 week. I used to always Google the different colors of feathers, because there are sometimes different feather colors mean different things. Traditionally, if you see a white feather, it is from your guides and your angels. But if you have gray or black and white, then they also could have alternative meanings. So give little Google a go and see what you're drawn to, because there's lots of different meanings. So feathers, do you see feathers? Number 2 is sparks of light or color. Our guides are energy, and they have a frequency, and they are able to harness that energy and frequency to create outside in our reality or in our mind's eye colors or sparks of energy. So this was actually the first one of the first ways that I recognized that a guide was trying to communicate with me. Was I saw a flash of color, and of course I at that point I looked up Google. So I Googled what was this flash of color, and the thing that stood out to me was that your guides trying to communicate with you, and they're very happy about what you were doing. So this was a time of huge transition for me at the end of a relationship, where I was questioning everything about who I was and why I was the way I was, and how I thought I was this way, but through that relationship I saw I was also these things which were contradictory. So that relationship was really the catalyst for my first it's probably my second spiritual awakening, actually. I feel like I've had 3 big periods. So yeah, my kind of second big spiritual awakening, and it was a flash of color. I'm like, whoa, what was that? And Google, the oracle that is Google, supported me, and I was like, wow, okay, that's amazing. The other thing is reoccurring numbers. So number 3 is reoccurring numbers. So they're often referred to as angel numbers. That could be 333, 111, 444, 777, or things that I see a lot like 1313, 1515, 1616, 1717. You get my drift. So if you are seeing these in license plates or door numbers, or maybe on a receipt that you get, or you notice the time on your clock, if you start to notice these reoccurring numbers, this is another sign that they are trying to get your attention. So in those moments, how did you feel? What was going through your mind? Because these could be messages for you. And again, these certain numbers refer to numerology. And numerology, again, every number holds a frequency. So again, if you don't know numerology, then go and look up a numerology chart or what these numbers mean, because there are different things that mean different things. So like, for example, if I see like 5555, for me that means change and transformation. If I'm seeing 2s, for me that is about partnership or relationship. If I am seeing, if I'm seeing 7s, all of the 7s, then that also means for me a deeper level of spirituality. So again, if you don't know, go and research it. If you do know and that means something to you in that time, then really sit with that and go, this is the message. And also, anytime that I see them as well, it's just so heartwarming, because those are the moments that you're like, oh my God, I am so supported. I have my team around me and they're showing up as I'm going for my walk. And it just really helps you to know that you're never alone. So recurring numbers, feathers, and sparks of light. Number 4, ringing in the ears. This absolutely could be your spirit guides. This also could relate to one of your psychic gifts, which is clairaudience. So that could also be coming online. You may be clairaudient already, but if you're not, then hearing ringing in your ears could, one, your spirit guides be trying to get your attention. So again, what are you thinking? What are you doing at that moment? Do you have any certain feelings? Because they are trying to get your attention and communicate with you. This also might be a great opportunity for you to sit in quiet and ask questions. If you ask some questions or ask who they are, just see if you get that information there or down the line in the next kind of few days. The reason that they're trying to communicate with you is because they're always there. So are you just not communicating with them? So ringing in the ear is a big one. Another sign that I get all the time is animals. So we have animal guides, and I'm very connected to the animal realm. And if you might come across something that is unusual, or you might have a certain animal that you really resonate with, then they tend to have messages for you. I've had so many crazy messages from animals that were like insects, animals that were just so unusual and out of the blue. I had one that was stuck, I've never seen before, that was stuck to my dad as he walked in the room, and we googled it, and it was something to do with I can't remember what it was. It was like a feather insect or something like that, and I was like, oh my God, this is tripping me out. I've had things from ladybirds, I've had things from stick insects, it was in my hair. Oh my God, you name it, an animal will show up. I'm also really connected to magpies and crows, the witchy past lives that I have had. So yeah, I always see them, and I always have some beautiful recognition and experiences with them too. So if you come across an unusual animal or insect or bird, then again, if you don't know the meaning, you can Google it. Or if that resonates with you in some way, then maybe just ask yourself, what does that animal represent for me? If it's dolphins that you might see, and we're very lucky here in Sydney to have beautiful dolphins that I can see. If something stirs in you, if you get a certain feeling around it, sit and ask yourself, what does a dolphin represent for me? Is there a message there for me? So animals, animals, animals. Then another way that your guides are communicating with you is in music. How many times have you put on a song or heard a song, put on the radio, put on your Spotify, and the lyrics of that song are just exactly what you're going through, or they just move you to a point? I know for me, I definitely have there's certain songs that really resonate with periods of my life. Certain ones through breakups and, that relate to certain people. And yeah, it's really start to notice how your guides are communicating to you through music, through lyrics, through words. That could also be if you open a magazine or a book and you might see a word or a passage that really stands out. Again, this is another way that they are infusing their energy and showing up to you in the form of words, auditory. So that is another way. And then we have physical sensations. So yes, they, as I said, our guides operate at different levels of frequency and vibration, and they have the ability to manipulate that energy in a way to know that they are there. So for example, if I call in certain guides or angels, I will feel them at the side of me or behind me. So sometimes I've felt them like right in front of me, like, okay, I needed to ask them to move back a bit because they were so in front of me. But that also was when I learned more about this guide, that was actually part of their personality and a part of the message that they were there to give me. So the more that you can become in tune with your intuition and your senses, the more that they might communicate in this way. So it feels like maybe someone's touching you, someone's around you. You might feel heat or cold or tingling. Again, this would also be one of your intuitive psychic senses. So the clairsentient, which is clear feeling. So the more that you get in touch with that could be one way that your spirit guides are also trying to communicate with you. And then the last way that our guides are trying to communicate with us is through synchronicities and coincidences, right? How many times have you thought of your friend and they've just called? Or you're about to call your friend or text your friend and they've already done it? Or I had a really unusual synchronicity again at the start of over 10 years ago, my second kind of spiritual awakening, where I was going through self-exploration and I was meant to go to this meditation meetup group. And I didn't go. And at that point, whatever the website was that we could arrange, like meetup.com or something, you could message the other people that were going to attend. And this guy that I didn't know messaged me and said, I'm really sorry that you couldn't come. I think you should check out this school, which was a psychic school in London that I eventually went to. And because I'm like a detective, I looked this guy's name up on LinkedIn, which was a platform that I used to use all the time for my previous work. And he came up as someone really senior within my industry. So for me, I was a little bit of, okay, this person is legit, because I don't know who this person is, just messaging me out of the blue, like suggesting I go somewhere a bit weird. And so I found him on this platform. And then when I went to go back to the message and then go find him again on that platform, he was gone. This man disappeared. Like, I can't tell you how I was like, what the hell was that? So synchronicities, our guides can, again, energetically show up as physical people online or in our physical realm that are there and then they disappear. They're there to give us a message. They are there to point us in a direction. So, because should I have not been pointed in that direction, I probably would not have found that psychic school. And that was honestly the foundational point for all of my spiritual work today. So yes, synchronicities, it is insane. Or, you know, sometimes you might see like a coin, you keep finding a coin on the ground or something. So yeah, what are the synchronicities? What are the like unusual coincidences that you're experiencing in your life? Because those are also signs from your guides. Now, whilst it's an amazing noticing where signs are showing up and some of the places that they do show up, it is important to be able to work with our guides, because they're here to support and help us through our journey. They are here to give us the guidance, the wisdom, the knowledge that we need for our soul's journey. So developing a relationship with our guides is so amazing and useful. And there's some ways that we can do that. First and foremost, we can sit in meditation. We can quiet the mind. We can go into nature and communicate. We can just ask questions. We can ask who our guides are. We can ask to be shown some messages or information. And it's like anything, right? The more that you practice and open yourself up to communication is when you will receive the communication. You can also, another great thing that I did when I first started communicating was automatic writing. So just asking, setting an intention to communicate with your guides, and then just write and see what comes up. There might be a name, there might be whatever it is. Just see what is there, because that's another great way of being able to communicate with them. So those are two amazing ways that we can start to communicate with our guides. Even every morning, you can, if you have any oracle cards or tarot cards, you can just pick a card and just ask for a sign from your guides. As you go out throughout your day, you can ask for something really specific to be told to you or shown to you as you go through your day. You could say, show me a sign of a flower, or whatever it is. Show me a butterfly, and that might not happen that day, but it might happen a week down the line. So it's just start to ask and set your intentions to communicate in whatever way works for you. And if you are looking to develop a relationship with your guides, develop a relationship with your soul, with your intuition, and with your psychic gifts, I invite you to join me on my Intuitive Awareness program, which is an amazing program. All of the details will be underneath and on my website, where we go into an amazing magical amount of things around our energy, around our psychic gifts, around our intuition, around our guides, around communicating with our soul, and the abundance of benefits that getting back in touch with ourself, our own internal compass and wisdom, how much that illuminates our life and impacts our life in such a positive way, because we're now not looking for external acceptance, validation from anything outside of ourselves, because we can self-source it all. And once we do that, we take our power back. And do you know how amazingly powerful that is? So if that's something that interests you, then please check out all of the details below, and I will see you somewhere in the ethers.